Check out that grainy picture right there. It is so dark outside, it may as well be the middle of the night. Good morning from Deep Thoughts from the Dashboard. It's Star Saxton here. This morning I am talking about being a connected educator and more importantly how we can start getting unconnected folks involved in being connected, because I think that there is a really great correlation between the folks who are connected and the ability to impact educational reform. Personally, I can't say that I would have ever been able to take the leaps that I have made in my practice had I not gotten involved with Twitter at some point. I don't know if I would have, and at this point it's kind of moot since I've been on Twitter for quite a long time, and through Twitter I've made connections with other really important people that have sort of shifted the entire trajectory of where my career was headed. Now in year 14 of my teaching career, my whole outlook of teaching has changed. In the very beginning, and those of you who have watched these broadcasts in the past know that in the beginning I was very traditional. I used my experiences as a student to shape the way I wanted to be as a teacher, although I did have a great rapport with my students, which I think was my saving grace. I was really strict. I was unforgiving. I was really disconnected from my students' reality in terms of their learning needs. And I assumed that my learning experiences were the same that they should have, which I was woefully kind of misinformed with that information. At this point in my career as a connected educator, and I would say that I've been connected now for, let's say, five years, maybe really heavily connected for 4. My blogs have been around for about that. I signed up for Twitter, I want to say, in either 2008 or 2009, but I really wasn't using it in any kind of productive way when I first signed up. Now, as a teacher leader in my school, I have given PD sessions, I have offered PD sessions on using Twitter, and many of my colleagues have lots of theories about why teachers shouldn't be on social media, and I'm sure those of you who might be watching right now have these people in your school as well. And what we need to do as connected educators is not just keep talking to each other, because we know the power of being connected, because we are. The real message we need to be sending is talking to the folks who aren't connected yet, and there are a lot more of them than there are of us. So what we need to do is get our message out to them without scaring them away. I can get very excited about things, and I love Twitter. Those of you who have some kind of relationship with the body of work I put out there know that Twitter is a huge part of who I've become as a teacher. The relationships that I've developed through my use of Twitter have essentially changed the way that I do my practice, because one person introduces you to another person, you start reading a blog on a regular basis, you start developing a relationship with somebody's ideas, and these ideas start to seep into your own, and then you start to question the very things that you've always done, and ultimately what ends up happening is that change is inevitable, because once you start taking in that diet of really interesting things, it's hard to have it marinate and have it be a part of your thought processes and not make a change. I think it's almost harder to do that than it is to change after a while. Maybe not at first. So what I kind of have a challenge for all of us this week, and I put it in today's blog post on Ed Week, that was titled, Why Aren't You Connected, is maybe take some time this week to really reach out to one or two of your colleagues at school who are kind of on the fence. Last year, I had my very best friend at school come back from maternity leave, and all of a sudden her outlook on things had changed drastically. I was able to get her onto Twitter, and now she's using that, and I was also able to bring her to an ed camp, which I think was a really positive experience. There are a couple of other people that I work with at school that I've been able to help with that as well. I think we can do it. Whether it is a local ed camp, which I think would turn people on to Twitter if they don't want to listen to somebody who's in their building, and, you know, obviously we can't be experts in our own spaces. It seems that the idea of that is, you know, revolutionary. Just how could you possibly have somebody in your building that others look to for advice, or people in your building look to for advice? So that's really what I'm thinking today. If we want these larger educational reforms to go through, and we want there to be a critical mass around some of the things that are happening that really need to change education, we need to get more folks who aren't connected in a way that they're comfortable connecting, not in the ways that we're comfortable connecting. So for today, I try to engage in a dialogue with somebody in your space who's just not on Twitter or Facebook, or not even reading blogs, or don't even know about, you know, how to use the internet as a way of engaging for, you know, professional learning. And share your ideas, blog about it, talk to the person, maybe let them do a guest post on your blog, send them to me. I'd be happy to talk to them. So I hope everybody has a great day. And, you know, in honor of Connected Educators Month, you should all check out the Corwin Connected Educators series, which I think is now in its 4th iteration. There are some really excellent books out there that specifically speak to being connected. Tom Whippy's book with Steve Anderson, Are You Connected? And then Tom Whippy's new one from this most recent run. My book on blogging is another great easy way in, so those of you who always wanted a blog but haven't yet, check that out. And then there's a bunch of others as well, so you can go to the Corwin Connected Educators website and check out the whole bundle. Have a super day, everybody.